Real Madrid 1 Atlético de Madrid 1. A null contest in the capital, a draw that leaves neither team satisfied, neither team happy. Real Madrid maintains the lead, Atlético de Madrid stays second for now, 1 point behind, and my feeling, at least, what is it? That the derby has a clear winner, which is FC Barcelona. If they win their match tomorrow against Sevilla, they'll add 2 more points to Real Madrid, to Atlético. Alright, let's move on to the match reaction. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel to help us grow, because I noticed that 80% of the people who watch our videos are not subscribed to the channel. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel to help us reach 5,000 subscribers. Don't forget to activate the notification bell so you don't miss any video. First, let's aim for 1,000 likes on this video. Now that you've subscribed, let's get to the news. Real Madrid 1 Atlético de Madrid 1. For Real Madrid, Kylian Mbappé scored in the second half. For Atlético de Madrid, Julian Alvarez scored from a penalty. I want to start there because I think the penalty situation has quite a bit to unpack. I'll put the image on the screen for you. I'll loop it many times so you can honestly tell me if you think this is a penalty or not, okay? Now, let's talk about the game itself. There are both positive and negative aspects to take from Real Madrid's performance, not just Real Madrid's game but also from coach Carlos Ancelotti and some players, although, for me, I must say that today, more positives than negatives, all things considered. But I'd first like to address the issue. They whistled just before half-time, in the first half, for a stomp by Sumaro on Samu Lino, if I'm not mistaken. What do you think about this play? Does this seem like a penalty to you or not? I want you to tell me. Not in the comments. Personally, and the more I see it, you know I like to take a stand, that I'm here to give my opinion. Personally, and the more I watch it, the less like a penalty it seems to me. I think Sumaro was going with his toe to support himself, not with the flat part of his foot, you know? Like that gesture you make when walking on your tiptoes, not using the heel. Samu was ready, and he fell easily. Honestly, the more I see it, the less it seems like a penalty. I'll also tell you that if they call it and you see the image in still mode, you'd have to accept it. But the thing is, still images often deceive. What you should do is watch it in motion, like I'm showing it to you on the screen. But undoubtedly, this penalty is going to spark debate because it leaves room for all interpretations. There will be many more Madrid fans saying this is never a penalty, and others who'll say, well, for me, it is a penalty because of the stomp. There will be all kinds of opinions, right? For me, the more I see it, the less it seems like a penalty. That's my opinion. The less it looks like a penalty the more I watch it. Alright? And this is incredibly important in the context of the match because the score was 0-0, and with this penalty in the 40th minute, Atlético takes the lead. But Atlético did nothing. Atlético couldn't have done less to get a draw at the Bernabeu. I mean, they had one shot on goal, and it was from the penalty, I believe. It's just, no, Thibaut Courtois didn't make a single save the entire match. Griezmann and Julian Alvarez both played as defensive pivots, a double pivot in parallel. It was really something. Everyone plays football how they want and can. I'm not here to evaluate what each team plans in the match and how. And that Atlético de Madrid came to park the bus? I don't care, but they didn't do anything to try to win the game. That's the feeling, right? That Real Madrid, obviously, for me, today, Real Madrid deserved to win, and clearly so. But I'm not saying, and let's start getting into the sporting side little by little, I'm not saying that we played a fantastic game, or that we should go crazy, or that we'll talk about this match 10 years from now. No. I'm not saying anything like that. Because, in fact, there are both good and bad things in this game. To start with the bad, Real Madrid, being leaders, has earned 1 point out of 6 in the last 2 matches. 1 point out of 6 is not going to win us anything. Earning 1 point out of 6 against Espanyol away and against Atlético de Madrid at home? A serious title contender can't get just 1 point from those 2 games. Those are negative aspects. Here's another one. The first half from Real Madrid was a disgrace. I mean, Real Madrid's first half was a complete disgrace. Once again, we went into halftime without a shot on goal, 0 shots on goal, just like against Espanyol, like against Valladolid, like against this team, like against, it's a copy-paste of games, one after the other. It's always the same. Real Madrid's first halves are an absolute drama, an absolute drama. And we keep gifting the first halves because today Atletico de Madrid practically gifted us the whole field. They came to park the bus, they sat back, a very narrow, compact, and solid team, all behind. We could practically get up to the three-quarters line with the ball controlled, without opposition. From there, the problems started: lack of ideas, lack of spark, lack of communication, lack of understanding, lack of football, lack of everything. Real Madrid's first half is a disaster, a disaster. And then there's the second half, which is another story. The first thing that happens in the second half, and with the same 11 players, right? The same 11 players with a simple technical tactical change, whatever Ancelotti did at half-time. We came out, bam, Real Madrid goal. A play down the wing from Rodrigo goes, across to the center of the box, a semi-miss from Bellingham, and the ball falls to Kylian Mbappé, and bam, the Turtle scores, 1-1. And from there, the Real Madrid storm begins. From there, Real Madrid had 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes where they were attacking Atletico Madrid's goal. It seemed like at any moment the second goal for Real Madrid could come, but it didn't. In the end, it didn't come, and we were all left with that feeling, right? That it seemed like it was coming, but no. It seemed like it was coming, but no. Once again, we gave away the first half, and in the second half, well, if you think about it, if you think about all the games we've had against teams of a certain level, if you think about it, because against Barca, we were beaten in both games. Liverpool scored 2 against us, but they could have scored 4 the other day. If you think about it, this was practically the second best half of all these games. I mean, the feeling I'm left with is that Real Madrid deserved to win, and that's good because our game went from worse to better, and we're leaving with better feelings for the Etihad to try and fight against Manchester City. Because the feelings against Leganés, despite scoring 3 goals, were not good. We were winning 0-2 and allowed them to come back to 2-2. Against Espanyol, beyond what happened with the referee, who had a very important influence on the game, we also played terribly. And today, we started the first half with the same tone, but in the second half, something changed, something changed. Well, you can stay with whatever you want. Everyone is free to stick with the version of Real Madrid they want because today we saw 2 completely different faces. The Real Madrid of the first half is a disaster, the Real Madrid of the second half invites optimism. Beyond that we have football problems, concept issues, we have problems with many things. Once again, for example, today for me, Ancelotti's reading of the game wasn't ideal. For me, today the reading wasn't ideal. Once again, he was very inactive on the sidelines. I mean, I think Ancelotti lacks a lot of intervention from the sidelines. I think he could have made some changes earlier. Once again, in the 80th minute, putting in? I mean, in the 90th minute, almost putting Brahim in, and in the 80th minute, the Modric and Mavinga change and so on. I mean, too slow when the game needed the best changes to keep pushing and pressuring Atletico. I saw that he was slow with the substitutions. So, that's why I'm saying, there are good things and bad things. What do you want to focus on? I prefer to focus on the good things. I prefer to focus on the good things, even though obviously, this Real Madrid is still showing signs that it's a poorly worked team and that it has many problems against closed defenses. Then, I'd like to talk about some key players who I think played a great game today. I mean, I think Asensio played an absolutely outstanding game, absolutely massive. Very good game from Asensio with incredible defensive concepts, the way he goes down to break up plays. I mean, there's a centre-back level there, and I'm glad. He played a great game. Fran Garcia today, on the left wing, won me over. He blocked his side and also gave a lot of attacking options to the team. He worked hard on that left side, he combined with Vinicius, he won the byline. I mean, very good game from Fran Garcia. Ceballos was good in directing the team as well, I liked him. Of the 4 forwards, I'd say the one I liked the most was Rodrigo. At times, he was the game changer, right? The ball was with Rodrigo. He's actually the one who provoked the goal play, with a great action of his, entering from the right wing. I liked the way he carried the ball, his understanding of the game, his decision-making. Then, he also had 1 or 2 chances too. I mean, I liked Rodrigo's game. Then I think Vinicius, well, he had some of his moments, he was the game changer, he was there on the left wing, but he could have done a little more. Bellingham is the one I liked the least today of the 4 forwards. Mbappé scored his goal and that's about it, not much more from him today. So, well, I still think that putting all 4 together is a suicide. I still think this team needs someone more in the middle, because in the end, you ask, why have so many forwards if you don't shoot? Why have so many offensive-minded players if you go into halftime without having taken a single shot on goal? No. So, well, let's see what happens against Manchester City, which is Real Madrid's next match. But without a doubt, it invites optimism. No, at least, from the last 3 games I've seen from Real Madrid, against Espanyol, against Leganés, and today against Atletico, without a doubt, I stick with the second half against Atletico. Without a doubt, that left me with the best feelings. And that, at least invites optimism that we can do something at the Etihad. Every game is a world, we'll see what happens, but at least that's the feeling I'm left with. What do you think? In the comments, the fans are already preparing for what's to come. Do you think Real Madrid was a victim of a robbery, or was it simply an error of interpretation by the referee? Is Atletico capable of maintaining its pace and fighting for the title, or will their tactical approach be their downfall? And above all, can Barcelona take advantage of the opportunity and take control of the league? Leave us your thoughts in the comments. The storm is about to explode, and you won't want to miss what's coming.